season in a row, the Buffalo Bills are your AFC East champions. Down by 7 at the half, the Bills were able to course correct for the AFC East crown. It was all the defense in the second half of things, being able to close things out thanks to Taylor Rapp, a huge interception to seal the deal. Shout out to the offense for getting going. That punt return touchdown by Deontay Hardy, I think, was really what set the Bills in motion to be able to win this one. That was huge. Welcome into Bills Postgame Live. We are presented by the divorce and estate planning law firm of Clark, Peshkin, Maddy, Glab, alongside of Steve Tasker. And Steve, we're soaking it up. We're in the glory. We're feeling good. The Bills are hosting a home playoff game. They're 4-1 at home in the playoffs since 2018. They'll play at 1 o'clock on Sunday against the Steelers. What do you make of this crazy game?
Well,
the Bills could have been up 14-0.
This is who they are, man. This is who they are. They had a couple of bad turnovers, had a hard time getting out of their own way in the first half. Were trailing by a touchdown and could have and should have been, would have been at least tied with the Dolphins, or at least 14-13 with 2 field goals. But they turned it over twice in the red zone, cost some points. They come away with nothing on their red zone trip, 2 of their 3 first half red zone trips, and they paid the price for it. They were trailing at halftime. They got it together, came out. They were playing extremely well, moving the ball well, doing a lot of things really well. But the turnovers down in the other end really hurt them. Yeah, the turnovers definitely did hurt them. But Josh Allen, 30 of 38, that's almost 79% completion percentage, goes for 359 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He did have those 2 interceptions, finishes with a 101.6 passer rating. This guy's stats, they are always good against the Dolphins. Speaking of QB1, he's at the podium right now, so let's get it right over to him.
Feeling good. Body feels good. Some stuff to clean up that first half. Turned the ball over too many times. But what a resilient group. So proud of our guys, man. They battled their tails off. Hardy making a huge play in the game for us. And then those final couple drives, I feel like we found a groove on the offensive side of the ball. I feel like the ball was coming out of my hands the best all year. So that's a good thing. But again, just got to be smarter with the ball.
Hey Josh, how deep did they dig in that second half? Get your shot out.
They've been playing like that all season long. They've been working hard together. That's a really good team we just played. That's a great offense. Their quarterback's playing at an extremely high level, and they got some really dang good playmakers. So for our team to go out there and do that, it took all 3 phases tonight, and they were a huge part of it.
When you went into halftime after you left, maybe 21 points on the field, what was the mood as you went into that line?
The mood is we were beating ourselves, and I was beating us, and that's what it came down to. And again, the turnovers in our own side of the field, those are never good, but resilient group. We kept our head down, kept working hard, and found a way to win.
Sean showed a lot of confidence in the offense on those last few drives, going for it. It didn't work on the last one, but what did that say to you guys when he gave you that?
Yeah, we got to go get that. It's a lot of trust in Coach. We get that. We don't have to have the theatrics at the end. You all right? But T-Rap making a heck of a play. He's been great for us all year long. He's kind of been playing that rover role. He's sometimes in, sometimes out, depending on if Mike and Jordan are ready to go. So he's been working hard all season. He deserves a moment like that, and I'm so proud of him.
How was it like to know before the game that you were in the playoffs?
Honestly, it was a big relief. Coach Vrabel and the Titans, I'm a fan of those guys. They helped, obviously, with us in this situation, and they helped today. So got to thank those guys.
Knowing where you're headed now, how important was it to get Diggs involved in this game and get him on track, knowing that the next one is a playoff?
Yeah, again, we tried not to do anything out of the ordinary, just kind of getting back to what we know, what we love. Just still, there's a couple big plays out there that I gotta be able to hit on, and going forward, that's we're going to work on. But it was good to get him going, but all of our guys made play. Khalil Shakir made some plays today. Dalton Kincaid, obviously, Dawson with the touchdown.
Did you get the sense when Hardy was running down the field that the game had just flipped, and you were maybe you were feeling it the first time all night that it was your game to win now?
Honestly, this team felt that way the entire time. We didn't blink. We came in at halftime and understood, what was going on. we didn't feel like we were playing up to our potential. So this second half, all three phases, that's who we are. That's what we're going to need to be going forward.
Josh, the shirt says AFC East champs. It's a lock, but for a while it did not look like that. When did you guys realize that you still could do this?
6-6. We knew what was in front of us. Had a lot of internal talks. Trusted the guys in this locker room, and at the end of the day, this is fun. This is cool. I'll never say no to winning a division. But the only thing that it solidifies is a home game and one more game. So it doesn't mean anything if we go out there next week and don't do our job. So we gotta find a way to put our best foot forward and go find a victory next week.
Josh, you said you were beating them in the first half. Did you have any conversations at halftime with Sean or Joe or anything that?
No, just trying to play smart football. Trying to play team ball. Obviously right before the half, we get stopped right at the 1 yard line, and that's one of those situations where it's like it's got to be in the end zone or it's got to be incomplete or out of bounds. So I took away 3 from us there. I took away 3 from us first drive of the game, the 4th and 2 pass. I'd rather honestly take that than throw it out of bounds. Give somebody a chance, in that situation. So again, pick and choose your battles, but find a way to win.
What were you thinking on the pass that Trent caught for the touchdown when they got the play?
Please don't fall into their hands. That's kind of how the game was going early on. A couple bad rolls early, but that's a heck of a catch. And former team that he was on. I know this game means a lot to him, and he played a big role, had a couple huge catches for us, so I'm proud of him.
You mentioned that. Rapp made a big play. Sherfield made a big play. Hardy. These are guys who came here and in the biggest game made huge moments for this team. What's it say about those guys and about this team?
It says a lot about the depth that we have, but it talks a lot about the type of character that we have in this locker room. Guys that haven't been asked to do a whole lot, and maybe at times being frustrated or not happy with the role that they have on this team, but not complaining, not getting upset, finding a way to help this team make football play, win games and make football plays. And you saw that tonight. I'm so proud of those two. They've had a lot of up and downs this year. And again, arguably two of the biggest plays in the game were from those guys. So they've worked extremely hard and they deserve it.
Josh, what was the adjustment with Gabe out of the game? How did that change what you intended to do coming in here?
Yeah, just still tried to trust the guys. Trent and Hardy stepped up, and I'm not sure of the full extent of Gabe, but hopefully we can get him back. But those guys are going to have to step up and make some plays for us. Go Bills.
Thanks, Josh.
That was QB1 Josh Allen. Let's get into this week's Player Spotlight. It's presented by Microsoft Surface. Microsoft Surface is the official tablet and sideline technology of the Buffalo Bills, and we're giving it to Stephon Diggs for the game that he had 7 receptions, 87 receiving yards, had a couple of big catches there, Steve. So why does he deserve the spotlight tonight?
Well, certainly he gave Josh some options that they couldn't connect on the first long throw down the sidelines, but I think it's really interesting, too. This was the catch that really gave the Bills a chance at the end of the first half, gave them a chance to tie it up, which they did. They got one-on-one with him, and he was working here against 33 Jalen Ramsey, who's on the other side. And this is, this kind of catch that you got to make, man. Your quarterback needs you to come through, and this is huge. They started a couple of drives as well where they got Josh some easy early completions. A lot of them were to Diggs. That's huge. And to get him back in the thing, he had 8 targets, had 7 catches, huge night efficiency-wise. Shakir had 6 targets, 6 receptions. Diggs, 8 for 7 receptions. Kincaid, 8 for 7 receptions. Sherfield, 4 targets for 3 receptions. Everybody each person that they threw to all night only had 1 incompletion in all the targets they got. Josh was on it tonight, and the players around him picked it up, and that's starting with Steph. To get the 8 targets and 7 receptions, particularly the long one down the road, he should have had the one that was incomplete. He was wide open, ran a perfect route, got Jalen Ramsey to bite.
I know.
And that was a touchdown waiting to happen, and they missed it. So Steph seems to be running on all cylinders. And there's a lot about this game offensively, not just Steph Diggs, about this game offensively. You can say, wow, they looked like their old selves when they were clicking.
Yeah, most definitely. Josh Allen able to grind out a win in the first half. It wasn't pretty by him. You had those 2 interceptions, both in the red zone there. And, you know, a lot of other quarterbacks could be down by that and not want to come back and have a tough time getting back into the swing of things. But when Josh Allen has interceptions,
Josh shrugs him off, man. You got to say it's certainly I get it. He gets criticized for it, and he deserves some. You know, he throws a lot of interceptions, but you know what? He is undeterred. He's going to sling it. You can hate it about him, but you also got to love that about him. The guy is undeterred. He is going to continue to sling the football. He trusts his arm implicitly, and for good reason. Nights like tonight are the quintessential Josh Allen games. He's 30 of 38, 345 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. He lost 1 fumble in the pocket, which that's a rarity in Miami. Right. You never see him do that. That is and to me, that's the one thing you kind of worry about, or would have gotten away in this game, was the fact that he lost a fumble like that. But for the most part, and Bills fans too, man. Hey, let him throw it. He is undeterred and undaunted by the turnovers. He just keeps slinging. That is probably, on nights like tonight, it's his most endearing quality. But on other nights, it's like, man, he's like your problem child. You want to sit him in the corner.
And he had some huge run plays there in the second half of the game.
15 rushes tonight.
Yeah, 15 rushes for 67 yards, averages 4.5 on the ground. When he had the ball in his hands and when he decided to take it away and run with it, they were able to gain some big-time yardage by him taking the football on his own. Yeah. I think back to the 4th and 1 play by Sean McDermott, deciding to go for it with just over 4 minutes on the clock on their own 35. That's a huge play and call by Sean to trust the offense and say, you know what, I believe in you guys. Go for it here, and they were able to get the first down.
Yeah, and and then the one at the end of the game where the Dolphins got the ball back on the 4.5 yard and they couldn't get it. I love the thought by Sean McDermott to trust his players to get it. Certainly, it worked out in the very end. His defense came up big and stopped him, but that goes a long way. When you watch film the next day, these guys are going to be in a room watching this film, and they say, we could have put the game was over if we get a half a yard and we didn't do it. That's on us. Let's go. But the coaching, they'll know, too, they gave him the chance. The coaching staff trusted him to give him the chance. And the next time, they'll want to get it even worse. There's a lot in this game. When we're talking about Josh rushing the ball, 15 rushes. The Dolphins are aware more than anybody else how bad he can hurt him, and Christian Wilkins did a very nice job on the Dolphins front to tackle Josh a couple of times. They did keep him hemmed in the pocket quite a bit tonight. He had to really retreat a couple of times to get outside the pocket, but he did that when he needed to. And if they don't tackle him, if the front 4 doesn't tackle him, he's getting some yardage, and that's always a threat, and he used it tonight.
Yeah, it was great to see Josh Allen get right in the second half and have some mean, angry runs, some incredible completions to be able to put the team on his back and get the 21-14 victory over the Dolphins. Sean McDermott on the podium right now. Let's hear from him.
4 years in a row. Man. Incredible, amazing. Just glory to God. I want to start there first. None of this is possible without him, and then Terry and Kim. Incredible ownership, incredible support. I think people don't give Buffalo enough credit for the people there in our community, number one, and then also inside of our building. Starting with Terry and Kim. I know I'm biased, I've said this before, but I think they're the best owners in the league in just a short amount of time. So their support, the way they care for us, the way they care for the players, just incredible. So great win, extremely proud of the staff, the players, the staff at home who's not here with us. This is all possible because of you all as well, and just one team, one effort, and just couldn't be more proud of a group more resilient. I don't know, man. These guys wasn't a good first half. We didn't play our style of football. I didn't coach well enough in the first half, and then second half we came around and started to get our feet underneath of us a little bit there. So sparked by Deontay Hardy's punt return, but special teams were on it tonight, which was good to see. And then Josh and his leadership, and you could just tell his will to win. He was not going to be denied, and that's who he is. And then the defense really stood up in the second half, made some adjustments, and those guys, they came back and reset in the second half. And then the big takeaway at the end by T-Rap, great play.
Sean, you showed a lot of confidence in the offense, being aggressive to try to keep the ball. What's it like in those circumstances, even it's like 4th and short and you want to maintain the ball? And what was your thinking?
Yeah, just be aggressive. Be aggressive, and every situation is different, right? Just want to be aggressive. They're a high-scoring offense. We were having a hard time stopping them in the first half there, and again, putting the ball in Josh's hands.
But even in that last one, you're in that sort of, you're in that 4th and at the 37, I think it was.
Yeah,
what
minus
went into
37.
all that? Yeah,
I was just praying during that time.
So Sean, you at times have had Josh step up, and obviously Steph steps up. But tonight it was Taylor Rapp, it was Deontay Hardy, it was Trent Sherfield. For your team to have those guys be some of the difference makers, what does that mean?
Well, I think it speaks volumes of those guys and who they are, their DNA. They're not household names, and they haven't been all season, but they continue to work, and they're ready to go when their number's called, and that's been true all season long. And that's how you win. I mean, it's not always I should say it this way, the MVP is not always the star, right? And people want that to be, and Josh is a lot. But the MVP is sometimes hidden in the locker room somewhere, and it's been a different person just about every week.
How important is it to have a guy like Dane Jackson that's had so many reps through the years in your defense? The soul goes down, Tyreek Hill's out there, this offense is what you said it is. He comes out and plays well.
That's why he's Dane Jackson. I think when first time we played Miami, Dane went in midway through the game, or somewhere thereabouts, I think it's when Trey went down perhaps, or maybe CB, I couldn't remember, but that's why Dane is who he is. I love him. He's so blue collar. He's such a team guy. He's never gotten in a bad way when he hasn't been out there playing. Again, those players are the players that make teams, and that's where the strength comes from.
Resourcefulness ran even deeper tonight, Coach, because you've got Balin Spector on the field playing important rundowns, trying to stop that run front. Has not had a lot of time on the field on defense, and then Ryan Vandermark on the game-winning touchdown drives playing left tackle.
Was Ryan out there? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, it's again credit the players, credit the coaches having those players ready, and it doesn't happen like that everywhere. So you always have to, especially this time of year, you never know who's going to be out there playing for you, and they've got to be ready, which is in part the players' responsibility as well as then the position coaches' responsibility. So those coaches continue to show that they're getting those players ready, and then they're paying attention as well on their own, right? And when you're not able to get all the reps, but you're paying attention, so when your number's card, you got to be ready to go.
You referenced the winning the division again, and I suspect this year is quite different because of the ups and downs and jumps you had throughout the year. How different does this feel than the other ones?
Yeah, no season is, at least seasons that I've been through in the NFL, is clean, right? You never ridden, well, there's been 2 where we've been almost perfect, but even those seasons you feel like sometimes after wins you feel like you've lost just because it's so hard to win in this league. And I just think you've got to really enjoy the wins and then get back to work like we've got to do when we land. So,
Sean, like you said, your 4th consecutive division title now. After you guys went into the bye week at 6-6, what was the message to this team, to be able to go on a 5-game run like you just did?
Well, I think the messaging overall was we're close. It felt like going into the bye, I think it was Philadelphia game, was the game prior to the bye. They hit a 59-yard field goal there at the end, and end of regulation, that is. And so we just we just it was a play here, a play there, and it's just really just stick with it, get away, had the players get away and get some rest and catch their breath a little bit. And we had been, on the road, primetime games. We had been to London, back, no bye until later, and that was a hard stretch there just to keep your endurance and your strength within that. And so the players were able to get a little bit of a rest right there, which was good. And they came back, led by Josh, and they were very intent on getting this thing done.
You may have mentioned once or twice about Stephon Diggs not being involved in the offense the last few weeks, but seeing him out there, getting him going, knowing that it's the postseason now, how important is that to the offense?
Well, you could feel his vibe. You could feel the vibe of the offense out there, just a different energy. And, again, the ball finds you. And Josh was doing a good job, it looked like to me, going through his progression. And he was playing the position at a high level. And he's as good as there is when he does that.
Anything on the injuries, Sean, that you know yet?
No, I've not checked with Nate yet.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, this week's game against the Dolphins is presented by Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the NFL. And we want to get to our friend who is over in Miami, Chris Brown, with his insider's take.
For the last 6 weeks, the Bills have been resilient, but on Sunday night in Miami, they were also resourceful. Buffalo lost Tyrell Dodson and Rasul Douglas to injury in the first half, and Balin Spector and Dane Jackson stepped in and helped to slow Miami's run game and force 3 and outs in the second half. Meanwhile, on offense, Leonard Fournette helped fill the void after Ty Johnson left with a concussion, and Ryan Vandermark spelled Deion Dawkins at left tackle on the game-winning touchdown drive when he went out with a hand injury. Dawkins eventually returned to the game, but gave Vandermark a huge hug after Knox went in for the touchdown. It all translated into a hard-fought, one-score win and the 4th straight division title. At Hard Rock Stadium, I'm Chris Brown for Bills Postgame Live.
Steve, quite a few injuries for the Bills throughout the game, and we'll probably hear an update, I would say, on Monday or the next time we hear from Sean McDermott. Not sure what the media schedule is going to be like this week anyways, since the Bills are now in the playoffs. We should hear from Sean early this week, though, I would say Monday or Tuesday, hopefully, and then hopefully we will get an update on some of the guys who did not return in this game. And when you look at the defense in the second half, Steve, they held the Dolphins to just 57 total yards in the second half. 0 points, 7 rushing yards is what they gave up in the second half to Miami.
Yeah, Miami had 100 yards at halftime. You think, okay, here we go, it's going to be tough, and they absolutely shut them down. And I'll say another guy's got smoking a victory cigar tonight is Brandon Beane. Think about Trent Sherfield coming in. Hasn't been used much during the season. Has been unspectacular. Tonight he came in, caught a touchdown pass. Deontay Hardy with a big touchdown return on the punt. Rasul Douglas, the in-season trade that he made. Taylor Rapp, the game-sealing interception. Dane Jackson, the draft pick. Leonard Floyd, the late signing in the offseason, who came in and has been an absolute standout on the defense. And, of course, Balin Spector, draft pick, came in and played in his second year, came in and got on the field after being on IR for a minute. All those guys are guys Brandon Beane went out, sought out, and got. And tonight, on a night when you needed the division, and some of them hadn't contributed at all, they come in and they all come through with flying colors. Hardy, no exception, coming in with a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. A sensational night. The entire roster can put a feather in their cap for everybody's contribution to an AFC East championship, because they all had a hand in it tonight.
Yeah, kudos to that coaching by Sean McDermott, the drafting by Brandon Beane. It equals the Bills making the playoffs in 6 of their 7 seasons since coming to Buffalo in 2017. All right, our punt return touchdown king, Deontay Hardy, is on the podium. Let's get over to him.
Miami backs themselves up with a couple of penalties. You know they want to flip the field. Are you thinking you're going to have a shot with some room in front of you?
Yeah, for sure. I like when our defense is able to, get a stop inside their 25.
thinking big field. I'm thinking they're trying to, like you said, flip field. So I know it's an opportunity there. 9 times out of 10, the punter's going to outkick his coverage. So I know I'm going to catch the ball with a lot of space in front of me.
You took it out of gear at like their 40-yard line. Did you even get touched the whole time?
I don't know. I blacked out. I can't tell you what happened. I just seen a crease. I hit it. Next thing you know, I was free.
Was there a little pressure on it when you fielded inside the 5-yard line?
I didn't know where I was. I didn't know where I was. I mean, I kind of knew, like, I lined up on the 12. I thought I took like 2 steps back. Figured I was catching the ball around the 10. I come back to the side, and I'm like, how far was that? It was like 96. I was like, oh. Imagine if I didn't make a play.
Obviously, this year you've been kind of limited in your opportunities. But to see the reaction on the sideline after that touchdown, you just feel like the most popular guy on the team right there, just getting hugs and high fives from everybody. What was that like for you once you kind of got back from blacking out?
Yeah, I mean, that just show you like what this team is all about. One close group. It's a family here. And you kind of like I always seen it from the outside looking in. When I was in New Orleans, I was looking at this team like I want to be a part of that. So to be able to actually be a part of it, it's a surreal feeling.
But how gratifying is it, after waiting all season to make something big happen, to deliver in this game, to kind of help get your team back in the game to another division?
It's a big moment. It's a blessing, for sure. I tell people all the time, you never know when your moment's going to come. It's always just staying in the process and just always being ready when your number is called. So, it's definitely a blessing to be able to go out there and make a play, especially given the situation, offense not really going. So to be able to, create a spark and, get us going a little bit, it's definitely a blessing. Appreciate you.
That 96-yard punt return touchdown is the longest in team history. And Steve, I'm sure you guys talked about on One Bills Live this week. I said it too when I was on this week. Is special teams is a cheat code. If they can get good field position for themselves or limit field position for the Miami Dolphins, or somehow get in the end zone on a punt return touchdown or a kickoff, opening kickoff maybe, like we saw from the Patriots last week. That is a cheat code, being able to do so. They were able to get one of those things in this game against the Dolphins. That punt return touchdown not only put 7 points on the board, I think it was really their spark and what they needed to start to steer in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely. And you could feel the momentum, because even when the defense had to come right back out after the ensuing kickoff, the defense was fired up right away as well. And then they gave the ball right back to the offense, and the offense did everything they could, got down to one more first down on a 4th and a half a yard. If they could have converted that, the game would have been over, and the Dolphins would never have gotten the ball back anyway. As it was, they ended up with 38 minutes of time of possession to 22 for the Dolphins. They had 77 offensive plays. The Dolphins had 48. The defense really shut them down, and it was keyed by that return where you could just feel the moment and the emotion of the team just pick up. And that's really what won the game for them. There's no question about it. It's everything subsequent to that was helped or hurt, if you're the Dolphins, by that punt return.
Yeah, and the defense helped out the offense and vice versa. I mean, the defense in the second half being able to force a few 3-and-outs was huge. And then what Taylor Rapp did at the end of the game. The Bills are now 19-2 in December and January games since 2020. Within that, they have 14 straight regular season wins. Josh Allen is now 11-2 against the Dolphins in his career. If you include playoffs, he's 6-1 against Tua Tagovailoa. The stats against this Dolphins team, how they're able to compete against this Dolphins team, the last few years, it's been a rivalry that has started to heat up to the likeness of what you knew the Dolphins were when you guys were playing them in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, you think about this. Tua, this rivalry is going to go on for a minute, because the Dolphins like Tua. He's their guy. I think they like Mike McDaniel. He's proven to be a good head coach. I think the team has flourished under his leadership, and certainly the Bills are not making any changes over here with 4 division titles under their belt. Think about this. The season ends. Tua Tagovailoa had 29 passing touchdowns to lead the league, tied with Josh Allen with 29 touchdown passes to lead the league. And, of course, Tua doesn't have the rushing touchdowns. The rushing touchdown was Raheem Mostert in Miami. Mm-hmm. Josh had 15 for second place in the National Football League. yeah, this thing's going to go on for a minute.
Yeah.
These two teams are going to see each other, and I think Buffalo's got to like where they sit because Josh seems to have Miami's number. They struggle to match up with him like a lot of teams do. They see him a lot. There's really no secrets between these two teams. So if you can put together a good enough roster to compete, you know that Josh Allen's going to give you a chance to win. And right now, if you can beat the Dolphins, particularly twice in the same year, you win the division.
Yeah, Jets and Patriots still figuring out who they are.
The Bills split with both those teams.
Yeah. It came down to the final week of the season. I remember when the schedule came out and we looked at Week 18 against the Dolphins. What are the schedule makers trying to say here?
Yeah.
Could it come down to the final game? And it absolutely did. Josh Allen finishes the regular season with 44 total touchdowns, 2 off of his career number that he had a couple seasons ago. That was 46 is what he had. And Steve, a big game on Sunday afternoon against the Steelers, a 1 o'clock kick in the wild card weekend.
Steelers are getting it
what
together
do you think?
as well. Yeah, the Steelers are getting it together as well with Mason Rudolph playing quarterback. They came out and got off to a fast start against the whoever it was they played today. I can't remember. Ravens. Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens. And it was quite a game. Steelers come out 17-10, beat the Ravens backups, and they got the opening play. I mean, the first play from scrimmage, they go the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Rudolph gives them a little bit of a spark. They're going to come in ready to play and try and win a playoff game and do something nobody thought they would do about 6 weeks ago, a lot like the Buffalo Bills. Wild card weekend is the weekend in the national, in my opinion, where you see the best football of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Championship weekend usually is pretty good football as well. Division round, it's a problem because they got the two teams in each conference that have been sitting for 2 weeks waiting, and they've on the bye. They come in and they crush their opponent. And some of the teams that are still in it use up all their emotion to get in. They go one more week and they say it's awesome, and they kind of hang in there and scratch out a win, and then they meet a team that's waiting for them. And it usually gets ugly in the divisional round. But this next weekend with the Steelers and the Bills, with the Chiefs and the Dolphins, it's going to be crazy.
Gets hotter in the playoffs, that's for sure. A home game in Buffalo, that's what we all wanted. Bills Mafia is going to be wild. They're going to be loud. It's what this team needs. They were 6-6 coming out of the bye week. They ran the table, won 5 straight games, are your AFC East champions. A huge turnaround of events to be able to win out in the regular season and capture that AFC East title. A lot of people counted this team out, but they dug deeper. They looked within. They found that resiliency. They found their identity, and they fooled a lot of people.
They did. They bounced back in a strong way. As coordinators changed. They overcame injuries on the defensive side of the ball early in the season. Now they're getting healthier. And tonight, I thought, despite their mistakes in the turnovers and those, I thought their ability to move the ball was unquestioned. Like we've said so many times, the Bills are their own worst enemy. If they didn't stop themselves by throwing an interception or whatever, the Dolphins struggled to do it. This is an offense that really seemed to click tonight, and that was nice to see after some games where it looked like a heavy lift.
All right, the season continues for the Buffalo Bills. Ticketmaster is the presenting sponsor of the Buffalo Bills 2023 season. Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the NFL. We want to thank you for coming to hang out, joining us tonight. If you want more highlights, more sound, more breakdown of this one, find us at MSG at 11:30. We will also see you guys next week after the Steelers game. For Steve Tasker, I'm Maddy Glab.